Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule. The spiritual hierarchy of our planet is but a very vortex of loving activity, the meeting place of energies coming from the center of the divine will. Please continue watching for the remarkable spiritual revelations of the esteemed author Alice Bailey, written under the guidance of the venerated Master Djwhal Khul.
Welcome, benevolent viewers. I'm Grace. The peace-loving English people send you warm salutations and offer their sincere friendship in God's favour. Welcome to Christ's Unique Occasion, from the Reappearance of the Christ by Alice Bailey on Words of Wisdom. Alice Bailey was an extraordinary British-American esoteric author of the 20th century. She was one of the first to use the term New Age, referring to a better future for the world that fulfills the divine plan of love and light. Born in 1880, Alice Bailey in her youth was a devoted Christian who later developed an extensive knowledge and practice of theosophy. In 1919, at the age of 39, she began a spiritual journey of inner telepathic communications with the great ascended master Djwhal Khul, also called the Tibetan or Master D.K. Over the next 3 decades, until the end of her life, the master thus transmitted ancient teachings of the ageless wisdom to his chosen disciple, which she diligently recorded as 19 books. In addition, Alice Bailey wrote other profound books on her own. In 1922, Alice Bailey and her husband Foster Bailey founded the Lucis Trust and the Arcane School to offer the teachings and meditation guidance to the public. The non-profit Lucis Trust is still active today and continues to publish Alice Bailey's works, including free e-books for people to study in this special period of our planet. Today, we will continue with a selection from Alice Bailey's Chapter 2, Christ's Unique Occasion, from her book entitled The Reappearance of the Christ. More intriguing interpretations are offered with further details around Lord Jesus Christ's last words and days, with which future possibilities for humankind could be realized. Chapter 2, Christ's Unique Occasion, the World Today. The significance, the intention, the purpose of it all, and the comprehensive divine idea as it existed in the mind of the Father, dawned upon his soul, not on his mind, for the revelation was far greater than that. He saw still further into the meaning of divinity than had ever before seemed possible. The world of meaning and the world of phenomena faded out, and esoterically speaking, he lost his all. For the time being, neither the energy of the creative mind nor the energy of love were left to him. He was bereft of all that had made life bearable and full of meaning. A new type of energy became available, the energy of life itself, imbued with purpose and actuated by intention. But it was new and unknown, and hitherto unrealized. For the first time, the relation of the will, which had hitherto expressed itself in his life through love and the creative work of inaugurating the new dispensation, became clear to him. At this point, he passed through the Gethsemane historic garden in Jerusalem of renunciation. The greater, the larger, and the more inclusive was revealed to him, and all that hitherto seemed so vital and important was lost to sight in the greater vision. It is this living realization of being and of identification with the divine intention of God Himself, the Father, the Lord of the world, upon levels of awareness of which we know nothing as yet, which constituted the unfolding awareness of the Christ upon the way of the higher evolution. This way He treads today, and He began to tread it in Palestine 2,000 years ago. He knew, in a sense hitherto unknown to Him, what God intended and what human destiny meant, and the part that He had to play in the working out of that destiny. We have paid little attention down the centuries of human thinking to Christ's reaction to His own destiny as it affected the human. We have paid small attention to the aspect of His reaction to knowledge as it unfolded itself to Him. We have been selfish and grasping in our reaction to His work and sacrifice. The word to know, in relation to the initiate consciousness of the Christ and of still lesser initiates, concerns the certainty of the knowledge the initiate has gained through experiment, experience, and expression. The first faint tremor of reaction to monadic destiny and to the widespread universal influence a Son of God can exert, makes itself felt in the consciousness of the Christ, as it will in the consciousness of all those who obey His injunction and arrive at the perfection which He pointed out as possible. The highest divine quality or aspect now makes itself felt in the life of the progressing Son of God. He knows the meaning of intelligence. He realizes the significance of love and its attractive quality. Now, because of these two recognitions, he becomes aware of the potency of will and of the reality of the divine intention, which that will must at any cost implement. This was the major crisis of the Christ. There are in the Gospel story, as testimony to this divinely progressing unfoldment, 4 recorded moments wherein this universal or monadic realization showed itself. Let us look at each one of them for a moment. There is, first of all, His statement to His parents in the temple. "Know ye not that I must be about my Father's business?" We should note here that he was 12 years old at the time, and therefore the work with which he had been occupied as a soul was finished. 12 is the number of completed works, as witness the 12 labours of Hercules, another Son of God. The symbolism of his 12 years is now replaced by that of the 12 apostles, the symbol of service and sacrifice. He was also in the Temple of Solomon, which is the symbol of the perfect life of the soul, just as the tabernacle or the tent of meeting, earthly dwelling place of Yahweh, God of Israel, in the wilderness is the symbol of the imperfect ephemeral life of the transient personality. Christ was therefore speaking on soul levels, and not only as the spiritual man on earth. He was also serving when he spoke these words as a working member of the spiritual hierarchy, for he was found by his parents teaching the priests, the Pharisees, a school of thought, and the Sadducees, religious group. These points all indicate his recognition of his work as a world teacher, becoming conscious for the first time in his physical brain of divine intention or of the divine will. Next comes his statement to his disciples, "I must go up to Jerusalem," after which we read that he steadfastly set his face to go to that city. This was the intimation to them that he now had a new objective, the only place of complete peace, which is the meaning of the name Jerusalem, is the centre where the will of God is known. The spiritual hierarchy of our planet, the invisible Church of Christ, is not a centre of peace, but a very vortex of loving activity, the meeting place of energies coming from the centre of the divine will, and from humanity, the center of divine intelligence. Christ had oriented himself to that divine center, which has in the ancient scriptures been called the place of serene determination and of poised, quiescent will. This statement marked a point of crisis and of determination in the life of Christ, and proved his progress towards divine fulfillment. Then, in the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, "Father, not my will, but thine be done," thus indicating his realization of divine destiny. The meaning of these words is not, as is so often stated by Christian theologians, a statement of acceptance of pain and of an unpleasant future and of death. It was an exclamation evoked surely by his realization of the universal implications of his mission and the intense focusing of his life in a universal sense. The Gethsemane experience was an experience uniquely possible only to those sons of God who have reached his rare point in evolution. It had no real relation to the crucifixion episode, as the Orthodox commentators emphasize. The final words of the Christ to his apostles were, "Lo, I am with you all the days, even unto the end of the age," or cycle. Matthew 28:20. The important word is end. The word used is the Greek santelia, which means the end of the time period, with another immediately following after, what would be called the end of a cycle. In Greek, the final end is another word, telos, in Matthew 24:6, but the end is not yet. The other word, telos, is used, for it means the end of the first period has not yet been reached. Here he was speaking as the head of the spiritual hierarchy and expressing his divine will, at one now with the will of God, to inform and pervade continuously the world of men with his overshadowing consciousness. It was a tremendous affirmation sent forth upon the energy of his developed will, his all-inclusive love, and his intelligent mind. This affirmation has made all things possible. For more details and the full online version of Alice Bailey's book, The Reappearance of the Christ, please visit lucistrust.org. Saintly viewers, we appreciate your kind presence for today's Words of Wisdom, entitled Christ's Unique Occasion, from The Reappearance of the Christ by Alice Bailey, Part 2 of 2. Coming up next is Electric Planes, the future of aviation. Right after noteworthy news, please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more constructive programming. May your life-cherishing nature inspire many more souls in following God's will, in the Divine's blessing. Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Naše programy nabízejí více jazyků. Prosím, navštivte suprememastertv.com/schedule a suprememastertv.com/WOW